Yaffee program on WVNN.
So I have to admit, I'm a little concerned about the ramifications, so to speak, of this China summit. Not really because of anything Trump said. There aren't any major surprises here. And actually, there is some good news when it comes to the war in Iran, it looks like. It seems more and more obvious that I was right, that the reason why we have not turned Project Pause into Project Freedom and bombed them again is because Trump wanted to at least wait till after this summit to get China's help. That's all fine. But there are some things about what China has said that concerns me a little bit. Now, when we're dealing with China, we should always be concerned. They are not a trustworthy actor on the world stage. And whether we want to admit it or not, we are in a Cold War with China. So let's talk more about this. I'll get your reaction as well. Do you think the summit has been a success? Do you think it's been a failure? Maybe somewhere in between? Or maybe you're just not sure at all. You need your voice of reason. I actually really am curious what you think so far. Tell me on the Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866, 866-494-WVNN. This is the Yaffee program. This is the show where you can count on the latest news, the important guests, and the best analysis, all for your morning commute. Coming up on the show, we'll get to the Alabama bullet points. At the bottom of the hour, we'll speak with Brad Presnall. He wants to talk about this spat, I guess, between State Auditor Andrew Sorrell and Derek Chen. Both have been on my show. They're running for State Auditor. Usually, most people don't care about the State Auditor's race as much. But let's be honest. The State Auditor is seen as a stepping stone for a lot of people in politics. So Derek Chen wants to use it as a stepping stone to do more things down the line. That's why it becomes important. But what Brad is working for the Andrew Sorrell campaign, so we'll talk to him. Also, later on in the show, we'll have the legendary Will Hampson. He's the official D.C. insider of the Yaffee program. I want to ask him about the elections, about the new congressional map, also other states as well that are about to have primary elections, so we'll get into that. I always end the show with the Yaffee program Rewind, and Walker is here. She's producing and going to do What's Trending later on. Walker, how are you this morning?
I'm feeling a little nervous today because I will be meeting my boyfriend's family for the first time tonight.
You should be nervous. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's going to be fine. I mean, why be nervous? Well, you think they're going to be like, you think you're going to do such a bad impression that they're going to be like, you are forbidden from dating her anymore.
I mostly worry about being too awkward.
Oh, yeah, I'm like that too. Believe it or not, in person, I can be awkward. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. If anyone has advice for Walker on what to do tonight, you can text in on the Yaffee text line. 866-494-9866, 866-494-WVNN, brought to you by RegenesisStemCell.com. All right, let's talk about the latest with China, because Trump is leaving the summit. I'm going to read this from CNBC. Kind of an interesting development here. U.S. President Donald Trump said China has agreed to buy American oil. Now, he did this in a pre-recorded interview with Fox News that aired Thursday evening stateside as the two nations push for concrete trade and business wins at their ongoing bilateral summit. Quote, they've agreed they want to buy oil from the United States. They're going to go to Texas. We're going to start sending Chinese ships to Texas and to Louisiana and to Alaska. Now, Trump said that about his meeting. China has also agreed, at least according to this, to help with Iran negotiations. And they've also agreed, now none of this is written down, of course, but they've also agreed not to supply military equipment to Tehran, Trump said, adding that the Chinese leader would like to see the Strait of Hormuz open and free of tolls. He says they have an insatiable appetite for energy, and we have unlimited energy, Trump said, saying that the U.S. produces more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. We're doing twice as much oil and gas as they are. Now, I do want to point out the reason why we're producing so much more is because of fracking. On a side note, remember, the Democrats, including Joe Biden, were trying to ban fracking. There was a big push. Can you imagine if they actually succeeded in that? But what concerns me about this meeting? One, I am a little concerned because we had business leaders there, everything. Now, we're trying to have a good export market into China. It's a huge market. They got 1 billion people. It's a lot of people to sell things to. But it does worry me that one of the problems we've had with China is we are so dependent on them economically that they kind of can use that as leverage against us to do what they want. This kind of goes in the same direction, does it not? I mean, it's more exporting, so they're dependent on us, I guess. And they are dependent on us now. But I don't know. I always get nervous when and Trump's all about trade, and it's fine. I just think this idea that binding ourselves to China more and more economically is going to make China do what we want. The evidence has just not borne that out. Now, what I'm more concerned about, though, frankly, is Taiwan. Because China, after this meeting, the first thing they say in the statement is about Taiwan, saying that the United States should not get in the way of Taiwan. That tells me that that issue is still incredibly important to China. We keep saying that China wants to take Taiwan, maybe militarily. We don't know what's going to happen. Can they do it? Do they still want to do it? Trump didn't say anything really about Taiwan, very little. And in the official statement from the White House, there was nothing. And then China says immediately in their statement that Taiwan's very important. So I'm just concerned. I was hoping that maybe China would kind of take the lesson from Russia-Ukraine and understand that taking Taiwan would be much more difficult than they thought. And the U.S. military would back them up, and we're arming Taiwan. But at least according to this, it's still a major priority for China, which has me a little nervous. Maybe it's unwarranted nerves, but it seems like Xi Jinping, it's like his legacy in his mind to reunite China with Taiwan. Now, well, let's get to some of the audio cuts here because, as I mentioned, Trump was over there. He was talking about all this. Go ahead if you can. Walker, play Trump cut 1 for me. Let me know when you got it.
Fantastic trade deals, great for both countries. He's a man I respect greatly. Become really a friend. We've known each other now 11 years, almost 12 years. It's a long time. And we've settled a lot of different problems that other people wouldn't have been able to settle. We did discuss Iran. We feel very similar to Iran. We want that to end. And we don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. We want the straits open. We're closing it now. They closed it, then we closed it on top of them. We want them to get it ended because it's a crazy thing. They're a little bit crazy. And that's no good. Can't have it. They cannot have a nuclear weapon.
So that was the first part of Trump's comment. So Trump said that before they actually had their sit-down meeting. Then after the sit-down meeting, Trump spoke on it more. Go and play Trump cut 2 for me.
He feels very strongly. I made no commitment either way. We'll see what happens. I don't need favors. I think he will. I think automatically he'd like to see it opened up. He gets about 40% of his energy or his oil from that. We didn't discuss tariffs. I mean, they're paying tariffs. They're paying substantial tariffs, but we didn't discuss it. We had a total military victory. We knocked out their entire Navy. We knocked out their entire Air Force.
So just so you know, that first part of that cut, when he says he feels very strongly about it and I don't have a comment on it, That's talking about Taiwan. Xi Jinping still feels very strongly about one day taking Taiwan. It's concerning, I'm telling you. We want to bind ourselves up economically, but that is not stopping China from some of their bad ambitions. By the way, I don't know if any of you saw this story. I saw this on Mediaite. It says White House staff told reporters to toss burner phones and other items in trash while leaving China amid bugging fears. So we still don't trust them. But Fox and Friends co-host revealed the extent of security precautions taken by the U.S. delegation and press pool that traveled with President Trump to China, noting that while the trip was publicly celebrated as a success, the threat from Beijing bugging personal tech was well understood. So yeah, it was still going on. Still can't really trust him. 1% of Americans are saying we understand the threat of China. We're going to try to play nice, to try to get something done publicly, but privately, we're doing to deal with them what is true. Apparently, there were other reports where I guess some Chinese officials held up reporters and all that. They're still the communist Chinese. But I'm concerned. I'm concerned about binding ourselves more economically with them for the reasons I cited. And it doesn't seem like they have withdrawn their ambitions to take Taiwan. Tell me what you think. We have our Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866. 866-494-WVNN. Coming up next, we'll have the Alabama bullet points. Right now, though, let me tell you about my good friends at Jay's Appliance Outlet, located off 72 in Athens. Now, if you're looking for a new washer or a new dryer, they are Athens' official Speed Queen dealer. That is the top brand when it comes to washers and dryers. Some of them are like industrial type washers. So if you're looking for something that's going to work, it's going to last a long time, but that you can also get for a great price, go to Jay's Appliance Outlet today. Don't go to one of the big box stores and pay too much. Jay's Appliance Outlet's family owned and operated, been in Athens for years. They can deliver to this area, and yes, they service what they sell. Now they have all kinds of other appliances on sale as well for you. Many of you have personally thanked me for telling you about them because the customer service, the appliances, the prices were so good there. Jay's Appliance Outlet, dial pound 250, say the keywords at Jay's Appliance Outlet, or go to their showroom off 72 in Athens, or just Google Jay's Appliance Outlet in Athens. When you go, let them know Yaffee sent you. We'll be back in a moment on the Yaffee program.
The Yaffee program.
The Hammer Alley Podcast, an 80s flashback mockumentary.
Modestly speaking, in 1987, we knew Hammer Alley was better than Def Leppard, White Lion, Glass Tiger, John Cougar, and other artists named after Wildcats.
How did they go from top of the rock to rock bottom?
That band that won Battle of the Bands, Hammer Alley, is as current as a bowling alley. Have you been in one of those lately?
Hammer Alley.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The United States Soccer Federation presents the U.S. Soccer Podcast.
My name is David Goss, and I'm joined by my co-host Megan Klingenberg.
And now we're giving people an inside look at the World Cup.
Time's ticking. I think you can feel the intensity. All the guys are wanting to really stake their claim, and they want to be on that World Cup roster. There's no doubt about it.
Hosting the World Cup on home soil comes with its pressures, but we're just really excited, just as the people are.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast, presented by Henkel. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.